Hi, hi guys. It's me again. My name is Afi. I'm back again with another video. Um, this time we're going to do. Oh yeah, we're still doing song inspiration basically. And yes, this is another segment of song inspiration. And the song today, as you can tell by the title, is "Another in the Fire" by Hillsong United. Um, I feel like through this you'll see that I absolutely love these United songs. Yeah, their songs just speak to me in a special way, so I really like them. Anyway, Another in the Fire. If you haven't heard this song, I'm just going to suggest that you go and listen to it because it's a really, really, really nice song. It's one of those songs that you listen to when you're feeling like God isn't with you, when you're in like a dark place, and it might not even be that dark, but you're just in this place where you're praying about things and it's not happening, or it seems like it's not happening. And so Another in the Fire is like one of those songs that I feel like it's so good for that time, right? So I started listening to it maybe like a week ago, to be honest. Yeah, I think it was a week ago, and it's just been a nice song to listen to, right? Because first of all, I'm just gonna say that it's the song, the way it's arranged is a story, so it's like from the beginning of the story until the end, right? So the way the first verse is, it leads into the first chorus, and then the second verse, and then the second chorus, and so on and so forth, basically. And yeah, so that's what it is. So let's just get into it. So the first verse, basically is like there's a grace when the heart is under fire, another way when the walls are closing in. And when I look at the space between where I used to be and this reckoning, I know I will never be alone. Right? So at this point, to me it just feels like a time when you're just like it's like you're coming to God, right? So it's that time when you're just like I know I'm not going to be alone, so I'm giving my life to God, right? So that's what the first verse sort of reminds me of when I listen to it. And then the first chorus is basically there was another in the fire standing next to me. There was another in the waters holding back the seas. And should I ever need reminding of how I've been set free, there's a cross that bears the burden where another died for me, right? So at this point, the chorus is always going to start with like there was another in the fire, but then all the choruses are different in the messages that they're passing, right? So in the first verse it was like basically talking about you giving yourself to God, right? Cool. So that's how it worked. Then yes, that's the first chorus, and that's the message that it basically sends. It's like if I ever need reminding of how I've been set free, right? So you've been set free by God, and so then it says there's a cross that bears the burden. And so that's what you need to remember, that like anytime you need to remember like whether you're free, just remember that Jesus died for our sins, quite literally. And then the second verse is all my debt left for dead beneath the waters. I'm no longer a slave to my sin anymore, right? And I should fall in the space. And should I fall in the space between what remains of me and this reckoning? Either way, I won't bow to the things of this world, and I know I'll never be alone. So the second verse basically is like the line that really stood out to me was like, it basically says what you and should I fall in the space between what remains of me in this reckoning. So it's what remains of you from your past life, right, and the reckoning of just coming to God, right? Either way, I won't bow to the things of this world. Like, and that line, either way, I won't bow to the things of this world, made me think so much about the kind of things that we want. Like, who are we trying to impress in our lives, right? Who are we, like, why don't we do some things because we want to impress somebody who, and is their opinion that necessary? That was something that was so important to me, to be honest. Like, it was so big for me because I was just thinking, like, to be honest, the sooner we realize that we're living for God, and literally like our bodies are God's temple and we're living for God, and the sooner we realize that, then we don't have to think about people's opinions, because sometimes people's opinions are good, right? I'm not saying don't listen to anybody, but sometimes people are not always looking, they're not they're not looking for you to be the best version of yourself. They want you to be the person that they want you to be, right? So the best version of you for them, right? And there's so many people in this world. So can you imagine you being the best being the best version of yourself to everybody. Like, it's just not possible, right? So you're better off being the best version of yourself to God. So that line was so powerful to me. And then we go into the second chorus, and this part says, "And should I ever need reminding what power set me free? There's a grave that holds nobody, and now that power lives in me." Right? And so that's very important, because it's like, if you ever need reminding the power that set you free, right? If you want to remember why you're free, how you are free, just remember that there's a grave that doesn't have a body. When Jesus resurrected, his body wasn't found, right? So that's very, very important. Then it goes into a bridge that basically says, "And I can see the light in the darkness as the darkness bows to him, and I can hear the roar in the heavens as the space between wears thin." So that's the space between the person you were before you met God and the person that you're being in God, right? I can feel the ground shake beneath us as the prison walls cave in. Nothing stands between us, right? So that part, I feel like that part just speaks for itself. Like, it just speaks for itself. I can't even explain. So the next part is, "There's no other name but the name that is Jesus, he who was and still is and will be through it all. So come what may in the space between all the things unseen in this reckoning, I know I will never be alone," right? So as I said before, this song is literally, it's like, it's you being in this place where you feel like things aren't working right. And I watched the making of the song basically, and the writers of the song were speaking about it, and they were explaining how they got to this place, and even like the first time they performed it and stuff like that. And it was basically like, just, it was like, when you feel like God isn't working in your life, sometimes He's working in a different way. That's what I thought. Like, sometimes He's, I feel like as human beings, we want things to be the way we want them, right? So if somebody is sick, we want them to be better. We don't want them to die, for example. That's very morbid, but yeah. If someone is sick, we want them to become better and to come back to us, right? We don't want them to die. But then they die, and then we're like, oh my God, why would you do this to us and stuff like that. And it's like, sometimes God is working in ways that you don't understand, right? And we can't always understand how God is working. So, and that's a big part of faith. It's believing that something is happening even when you don't see it, right? And so this song has been that for me, to be honest. Like, when you feel like you when you feel like you're not seeing things happening, they are happening, right? Something is working inside you, and just always remember to, like, go to God and pray to God, and just remember that God is always going to be with you. You're never going to be alone, like 100% never going to be alone. Yeah, so that's just what I can say about this song. I definitely suggest that you listen to all versions of this song, the live version, the recorded version, the one that was just recorded during quarantine as well. So good. Yeah, just listen to every version of this song. I feel like every single time I listen to it in the different versions, basically brings something new to me, and so that's really cool. Yeah. So I hope you enjoyed this video. It was a bit of a ramble, to be honest, but yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. And if you enjoyed this video, check out my other videos. Remember to comment, share, like, subscribe. Yeah. Okay. See you next time.